You have now been in charge of Ferrari for about
months.
six,
No, no,
for
five.
about 5, 6 months.
Five.
5. Okay. How would you assess your first 5 months in charge?
It was challenging for sure that when you join Ferrari 1 month before the launch of the car, you have tons of things to digest, and then you start the races and it's week after week. It means that it's quite challenging on this aspect, but I feel also very positive on some aspect that the mood into the team, even if the results were a bit difficult, that the mood is very positive, very good. We are focused on the development and the team spirit is there, and the enthusiasm from the fan and the tifosi is so huge that it's a mega motivation.
You speak about development. Part of that development is your upgrades that you brought this weekend. Only Carlos ran the upgrades in the FP1. Did he give you any feedback as to how the car performed? What can you tell us so far?
Yeah, it's a bit early stage for this, that we will do the upgrade on the Charles car in this afternoon. And we'll have a better picture, because this morning was quite a tricky session with the proto tires and so. We collected a lot of data, but I left the track before to get the answer. But what we did during the session, the analysis that we did during the session was positive in correlation with what we were expecting.
And as for this weekend, I mean, Red Bull have just seemed so, far ahead at the moment, especially in FP1. What can you do?
I think the most important is to be focused on ourselves. To try to get the best from the package that we have today, and not to think about the others, that we don't know the configuration about the Red Bull, and we know what we are doing, and we have to take it like this and to do it step by step.
You've had an amazing start to your season. You're second in the championship, but that also means that at the end of this month, there's aerodynamic restrictions placed on your team, and that there's restrictions on your CFD and your wind tunnel time. I was just wondering, what is the plan that you guys have in place to combat this? Is there one big major upgrade package coming to push you towards Red Bull, or is it just small little steps along the way?
Yeah, I mean, we know the regulations. This will not come as a surprise. Wherever position we are after Canada, we are aware that there will be an adjustment. It will certainly be an adjustment compared to where we were. Our engineering team, they have anticipated this situation to come. They know they have a plan in place, how we are going to work more efficiently with the tunnel time available or the testing time available. And I'm quite confident that we can keep the development on the same level as before.
And you brought some upgrades here this weekend. You ran them in FP1. We saw the aero rigs on Fernando's car. What have the drivers said so far? Has there been a correlation between what you thought you'd get at track today?
Yeah, everything has worked really smoothly. It was about correlation in the first place. This morning it was a test session. This morning it was not really a practice session, and the data is being analysed. I had to rush off from the pit wall, so I do not have the full results. But from what I could hear in the session, it was all according to plan. Everything went smooth.
And we are in Spain this weekend. There's a huge fanfare here for one driver. He drives for your team. It's the question that everyone wants to know. Can he get number 33 this weekend?
We try. We will try our best. I think it will be a very hard race on Sunday. It's very hard for the tires here. So we have been strong normally when it is hard for the tires. So we will try our best to not disappoint all these fans that are here. They will come here with great hopes to see Fernando or Lance on the top. So we will try everything that we can to make it happen. But we will not be disappointed if it doesn't, and if we go home with another podium or a fourth or a fifth. It's very important that we accumulate the points and that we keep it up there in the championship.
Start with the big news this week, the appointment of Rob Marshall for the start of next season. Just want to ask you, what does he bring to your team that you currently don't have, moving forward?
Yeah, so Rob joins McLaren, bringing a unique level of experience, know-how in terms of engineering and design of Formula One cars. We know that Rob has been instrumental in establishing such a strong technical department at Red Bull, so that's what we expect he will bring to McLaren, and we are extremely pleased that he is keen to do that. He is keen to join McLaren as we take the team to the front of the grid.
And just looking at the future, I mean, you've hired Rob Marshall. There's a number of other appointments that you've made, you know, for David Sanchez for, you know, next season, with all the improved infrastructure that's coming to your team as well. How exciting is McLaren's future, you know, moving forward?
In terms of technical structure, hiring Rob just consolidates actually the technical structure, with Peter Prodromo leading aerodynamics. David Sanchez will lead performance and concept. Rob will lead engineering and design jointly with Neil Holdy, that will be his deputy. So I think we have put in place now at McLaren a very strong technical structure. But this is compounded by all the investments on infrastructure that are actually coming to fruition in these weeks and months. So all this together puts McLaren with the conditions to actually being able, as I said before, of designing Formula One cars that can compete for winning championships.
Yeah. There's obviously a race on this weekend. You guys have made the start to the weekend. Lando was, I think, 11th. Piastri was around 17th. What are your hopes and expectations for this weekend, especially considering there is talk of rain being in the area, especially come Sunday?
Thinking about a dry race, at the moment we know realistically that if we can come away of this weekend with having been a Q3 car and with some points, that's positive for our current level of competitiveness. And yeah, we definitely would hope for some rain in Monte Carlo. We were quite quick on intermediate tires, so definitely a little bit of variability would be welcome.
It seems that your performance in recent weeks has improved. You know, Yuki constantly being around the top 10. Nick has been improving his performance as well. After what wasn't such a great start to the season, how do you assess sort of the upturn in performance in recent weeks?
I must say that all the upgrades we brought to the car worked well. And the last was in Monaco with the new floor and with some other parts. Today we put on a rack on the car of Nick de Vries just to check via the data where we are with the correlation between CFD and wind tunnel, and this we have to work out now. We have to analyze it, but the first impression was positive.
That's good. And on the topic of Nick de Vries, he's been getting a fair bit of criticism to start his rookie season. I just wonder, what have you been saying to him? What have you been, you know, saying just to build his confidence and just to keep his spirits up, especially since he's improved in recent weeks?
Yeah, first of all, you know, I always say it's really difficult for rookies to come into Formula One nowadays. Why? Because, especially at the beginning of the season, because they don't know all the racetracks. Nick didn't know Melbourne, nor Saudi Arabia, or Miami. And in Baku, you know, we had the sprint race. That means after FP1 there was already the qualifying. This makes for a young driver, which is coming new to Formula One, really difficult. And I just said to him he should stay concentrated, he should stay confident, because we all know that he can do a good job. He won races in Formula 3 and Formula 2, he won championships, he won the Formula E World Championship. That means he knows how to win races and how to win championships. And he just has to get the confidence, and we have to provide him with a good car. And I think that the upgrades, as I mentioned before, which we brought to the car are working well, and this helps the driver. And therefore Nick showed a real good performance in Monaco, and also today in FP1 he was very fast.
Good. And how do you assess your chances for the weekend, especially with rain kind of predicted for Sunday?
We have to wait for FP2 and then to see what's going on tomorrow in the qualifying to get a clearer picture. But I expect at least one car in the points.